strong do you think the appetite is for accountability among Democrats, both among elected officials and the voting public, which of course makes, the outcome of the midterm so critical? And is a part of that, is Trump's removal possible in the period before January 20th, 2029?
Yeah, I do believe it's possible. I do believe it's actually going to happen no matter what. And I think that the question really is, can we make it happen faster than it otherwise would? I think the reason why it's going to happen is that he's just getting worse. He is, he's a narcissistic sociopath to begin with, and his cognitive ability is diminishing. His becoming more and more disinhibited because of that.
Right.
And he's delusional and he's demented. He's getting worse and worse. He's getting less in touch with reality. We saw that yesterday with the walkout on Kristen Welker, who was just asking him very, very basic questions that he should be able to answer, but never has.
Right, and she dared to take a moment to actually question where's the evidence for the lies that you're making.
Right, and so he's getting worse. We see his handling of the Iran war, which has basically no basis in reality to begin with, no strategic calculus to begin with. And he basically put himself in a position worse than we had started. We had a situation where there was free commerce through the Strait of Hormuz. And if the Iranians had ever moved to block it, there would have been a massive coalition of nations to try to stop that. And he put the world in a situation where the Iranians now have effective control of that strait. And they look almost, they feel justified in that because they were attacked.
Right.
It's inconsistent. The only way he could fix the problem is basically to pay off the Iranians, give them some degree of control over things that they'd never had before, and pretend that it's somehow a victory, and somehow that all the tens of, I can't imagine how many billions of dollars we spent on weapons, and we've depleted our stocks.
Yeah.
At that cost, we are worse off than we were before.
So let me just sort of restate the point. I mean, all of that makes perfect sense, but the question is there an appetite amongst the Democrats to pursue it, right? That means investigations, that means pursuing prosecutions, it means, doing the hard work and shifting away from some other things and deciding that that prosecution and ultimately his removal is required.
Yeah, I'd like to think that there is. I think among people, I think one of the reasons why you see polls saying is that people are unhappy with Democrats. Democrats are unhappy with Democrats is that Democrats haven't fought hard enough. But I do still sense, and it's one of the reasons why I ran, that there is just this hesitancy among Democrats to push hard. They like to talk about it. They talk the game. Yes, I would vote to impeach Trump, but there's a weird lack of prioritization in favor of that. The Democrats want to talk about, here's our 10-point plan. We love our 10-point plans. We love our proposed bills, which are all very good and they're well-intentioned, designed to help make America better. But how are those things going to happen with Donald Trump in the White House?
Right.
How are those things going to happen? Even if you trick him into signing all these great initiatives and signing them into law, how do you know he will enforce them? The man who tried to shut down the Department of Education, for example, without statutory mandate, the man who violates laws each and every day, as we are told by federal courts each and every day. There is something of an air of unreality among Democratic leadership that somehow thinks that we can just pretend like we offer our alternative view of the world in terms of what policy is, which is great, as if that somehow is going to win the battle. This is a battle for the nation's soul. This is a battle of not just politics, not just partisanship. It's a battle of morality, whether or not we stand for a government, whether we are going to stand against the government that lies to us, that oppresses us, that tries to stop free speech, that shoots protesters in the face. that is basically stealing from us.
Yeah.
That is basically being run for a very corrupt few and not for the people. This is the fundamental question, because we can't have all the nice things we want on our laundry list of things to make things better for affordability of healthcare, affordability of housing, affordability of groceries, of gasoline, when Donald Trump is not only just standing there and blocking it, and not only just saying affordability is a hoax, but affirmatively doing things that undercut the ability of the American people to provide for themselves and to live their lives the way they want to live them. So what I see sometimes among too many Democrats, although they're, I walk down the streets and people say, thank you for, saying what they think. There are people who I think it's a combination of exhaustion, combination of what psychologists would call learned helplessness. We've been at this so long, we can't do anything about it. And also it's the boiling frog in the pot phenomenon of we have
this new version of reality.
Right. And we've come to accept it as something that's just there, and that somehow we have to work around it. Oh, you can't work around having a federal government that is robbing you blind and destroying the world economy and destroying the U.S. economy and just this level of corruption. It's staggering. And that's why that's been the message of my campaign, that it isn't sometimes like, oh, okay, fine, you're against Trump, we're all against Trump. What are you for? What are your affirmative positions? And what do you want to do to make life more affordable? And it's like, those two things are inextricably intertwined.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm not a conventional Democrat. I was not a Democrat until last year. I was a Republican until 2018. But I believe in justice. I believe in government doing the right thing for people. And I've always been pretty much a social liberal in a lot of ways. This isn't the time to start worrying about these little differences among us when they don't. When we're suffering from this absolute. We're drowning in this corruption. I don't get how not everybody gets it, but that's me. But if I've done anything, I just want to bring this to the fore and make people think about it some more.